Okay, here we are with Jess from Logix Group, and we caught up last year, wasn't it? Here
we did.
At the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show 2024, now we're here at 2025, and we talked a lot about corrosion prevention, which you are championing the cause of. Corrosion prevention in boating, which is just awesome, which is not overlooked, but not fully understood. So what's been new for Logix Group? What do you, and what have you started to, people started to really start to gel with that message of corrosion protection is a fundamental, not an afterthought.
Yeah, absolutely. I think generally over the last few years the industry is changing in recognising prevention is better than cure. And I think that has a lot to do with the work that we do from recreational boating all the way up to your commercial boating. The idea of getting ahead, understanding risks, and then how do we mitigate that risk? Because at the end of the day, what we as a company would like boat owners and organisations to be in the position is that they can prevent a lot of this stuff from happening.
That's huge, isn't it? Preventative is the big thing, and this is why our audience, you will hear me say time and time again, preventative maintenance is much better than fixed stuff when it breaks. And that's really good to hear, Jess, that people are actually starting to onboard that mindset of preventative is corrosion prevention is the priority one.
Absolutely. Well, traditionally it's very reactionary. I lift my boat, oh my goodness, I've got something going on, and then obviously it gets fixed, but your slip time's delayed. We've had enormous problems of fulfilment of parts in Australia. It's a bit of a global problem, so we can have a delay. All the good operators have been extremely busy. I can't get an electrician, I can't get a new shaft for 8 weeks, etc., etc. And so often clients become clients with their new boats because they've been in that position. How do I never be in that position again?
Through the pain.
Absolutely. So particularly commercially, a number of the big organisations that we work with, very big fleets, let's look at our build. Let's do a commissioning testing protocol before we put the boat into operation so that we can write a maintenance program for this boat, understanding fully its inherent risks for corrosion, so we can promote longevity. So if we have an anticipated work life of 7, 10, 20 years, whatever it might be for that organisation, let's get there. Let's get there confidently. And that's a game changer. So these organisations are putting money before it's like, oh, we're actually chopping out and putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars of new hull. At a 2, 3, 4 year period. Right? That's really common.
And I hear what you're saying. I've been in that space of, being with owners who've taken their boat out of the water and they've just gone, what is all this? And they've got pitted props and they've got, all sorts of things, and their P brackets are pitted and they're and a lot of they've been in an environment where they've only had the boat. We only took it out,
6 months ago, a year ago,
and then there's what's happened here. So it's not just also about preventative maintenance. It's also, I feel, is it a case of checking in with this system and checking in with the maintenance of it.
Absolutely. And look, that's what we do with a lot of slipways, when we're dealing with trades, is let's educate you a little bit. So when you lift a boat and you see this kind of activity, what's my next natural step to make sure that we either fix it properly, notify the customer, this is what's going on, so we don't have this big blow up of what's going on and the headless chook mentality, or let's engage the professionals. Let's find out what's going on so that we can best help you, because the last thing we want to do as your shipwright or whatever they might be is grind it, paint it, put it in the water and have this happen again and potentially have this exacerbate and get worse. And so being supportive to the industry is incredibly important. We do a lot of free education at Slipways, because that baseline of education is lacking, and it's not just an Australia problem, this is a global problem, that the baseline of education about corrosion, just making that distinguishment between electrolysis and stray current and it's hot and it's an anode problem, or if it's over zinking, or and so we really break it all down. What are you actually looking at here before we start throwing around scary terms, are we just looking at an overprotection here? It's not electrolysis, it's not straight current. We just maybe haven't got the right anode set up on this boat. Or the other thing is, let's not sugarcoat this. We've got something major going on and we need to get to the bottom of it. And so that little bit of information goes a really long way, and we've got the job there to be the industry professionals and support these people so that the boat owner, whoever they might be, from the 9-metre tinny up to super yacht, we're existing in that space because it's all very similar problems, just on different scales.
It also seems to me that, obviously we see the circles you're working with, and the people you're working with, and it seems to me you're gelling well with people who have that real client journey, real customer long-term
absolutely
sort of thing. And you mentioned, grinding something off, filling it up and putting it back in the water. If they're motivated to just do that every year because they know it's going to come back, that's not your space. So I can see that
quality, care, quality, care, passion. There's no point really wanting to not engage with a customer that's not engaged in your passion and what you really care about. We need that and that comes from our entire team. That care factor is powerful. You can touch it and feel it, and that's so important that gets communicated through our entire customer experience. That they know that what we're talking about. One, we know our stuff and we're technically excellent, but at the same time, we need to translate the message so that it makes sense, that the solution is clear. And that they know that we care. And so a customer with a small runabout is going to get the same level of care and attention from us than someone who owns a 70-metre super yacht. That's it's incredibly important.
So I like this, your B2C and B2B model, because what I'm seeing is more people taking up your charge or challenge in the service provision as well, which is really good, because I've now been a big fan of what you do, and I'll get on boats and I'll look at different things and I say, look, it's really worth the value of doing this survey, really, doing this corrosion bonding survey. Look at this, because we want to, if they're doing a sort of a partial restoration, or they're getting their boat back up, or if
it's a small cost for a lot of peace of mind.
Shattered dreams back together.
There's too much of it.
There's too much of that. That process is just, it gets from a new boat. It's so important to know that. And especially production, but also for a second-hand boat, getting you back to that preventative maintenance point.
Let's start with a point of realisation, fact from fiction. What have we got to look at? What are our intervals of when we should look at these things, etc., etc. And I use the example of this great Australian boat that we're on right now, Australian Scimitar catamarans, built on the Gold Coast, and came to us and said, right, we're going back into production. We want to make sure that what we're doing is correct. Best practice, so that the customer can be completely confident in what we're delivering in terms of a corrosion protection package. And we've worked with them from the ground up to make sure that their corrosion protection is the best for this boat. And so, and moving forward from that, no news is good news, that's
what I like to hear.
Absolutely.
It's a thing. That's why I think you're getting those, high value service providers. Because that's what they want. They want the no news is good news. They're not looking at
no surprises.
Broken down stuff is part of their business model. Customer support, maintaining things at a high level.
Delivering a brand new boat that isn't going to have those warrantable headaches. They want the customer to get their boat and go and have a fabulous experience and not be dealing with a factory warranty headache, right? No one wants that. The factory doesn't want it, the owner doesn't want it. And at the end of the day, a good builder gets repeat business. I bought a boat from you 10 years ago, it was great, now I want the newest, the latest. And brands like Scimitar are like that. The repeat customer speaks volumes to the product and the quality that you're building.
Absolutely. Well, you know your stuff, Jess. It's quite here that you've researched, you've studied all this, you know it inside and out. And that's why we recommend Logix Group in this space of, it's all part of understanding your boat from the keel up and from the inside out. yes, owners will look at boats from the lifestyle down.
Yeah.
It's you and I and our
engine room first.
Group, that sort of goes engine room first.
Absolutely, yeah.
So once again, it's an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Hope
Thank
you enjoy
you
the
so
rest
much.
of the show. And
we'll really good to see you
next year. Should we book in this time next?
Absolutely,
next year?
yeah.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, Ned. Thanks,
Happy
guys.
boating. Bye for now.
Bye.